Welcome to the Igniting the CEO Within podcast, where we interview successful high-level professionals to discover lessons they've learned throughout their career that can help ignite that CEO within you. I'm Mark McFatridge, and I'll be your host for the next 15 minutes or so. Our show is sponsored by Quaid, a nationwide community of CEOs and entrepreneurs. Quaid has developed Launchpad, which offers an opportunity for experienced executive coaches to become licensed circle directors. After completing the Launchpad program, you'll lead your own peer advisory circles, helping other CEOs and entrepreneurs excel in their professional and personal lives while providing a community of support, accountability, and challenge. If you'd like to learn more, go to quaidcircle.com. On our show today, I am so excited to welcome LaTanya Orr. She's the founder and CEO of the FoundHERS Suite in Chicago, Illinois. LaTanya, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mark. It's an honor to be here. It's a pleasure to talk about leadership and particularly the last day of March, Women's Month,
Yeah,
Women's History Month, to have this opportunity. So thank you so much.
perfect timing. So let's not mess around anymore. Let's jump right
Uh,
into it. Okay. So
sure.
look, you get to hang out with some really amazing people. And some of those are really great leaders, and others could maybe use a little bit of improvement.
Mm.
If
Mhm.
you could start to narrow it down to a couple of things that separate really great leaders from the ones that have some opportunity to grow a little bit, what would that look like?
Well, I guess in my experience and sort of being out here as an entrepreneur for over 20 something years, solopreneur, and having worked corporate, having done the professional thing, and then moving on to entrepreneurship. One of the things I think in particular as it relates to being an entrepreneur is that, this is not for the faint of heart. So you really have to have some fortitude. You have to some stick to itiveness, and a thick skin to a certain
Yeah.
certain degree, because it's hard. It's hard to make the leap sometimes from, okay, I'm getting paid every 2 weeks, to or to really hustling, to one, make a difference,
Hmm.
to walk out your purpose and your, whatever, what's passion, what's your passion, what's on your heart to do, and what you feel as though your gifts and talents are have put you here, reason why you are here.
Right.
And then to say, okay, you know what, I want to own a business. And so those things sometimes don't correlate. They don't go
Yeah.
together. And so I guess in my experience, when I, speak with women who are either transitioning, as I did, from corporate or from career professionals to, sort of that subject matter expert to an entrepreneur, that it really is about
Hmm.
heart and dedication and commitment, and to a variety of different things. Commitment to, okay, so you know what, I want to start this business. I want to give it my best shot. And at the end of the day, again, about having an impact in your community, having an
Hmm.
impact in your family, to be able to leave a legacy for your families. And I think that's sort of what rises to the top. In my, in my experience, is that, again, it's not easy to do it, and so, yeah, I think it's really about, how dedicated, how committed you are to your craft, to making a difference. It is not always about the money,
Yeah.
although we should get paid.
Yep.
I'm a space woman, so I believe that, we're worthy to receive, uh, uh, I can't even say the right word.
Remuneration. Yeah, that's right.
Remuneration
Yeah, there you go.
for our work.
Yeah.
And so, I believe that, that is a lot of it. And just, uh, you know, just the heart that's there for the business, for the work. And then also, to think about it in terms of a future legacy for you and for your family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff that you covered in there that I want to unpack a little bit. So
Sure.
so let's say, and again, because of your work, you're doing a ton of coaching of
Mm.
people, and so I'm guessing you see a lot of people that have a great idea, right?
Oh, yes.
And in their head they believe that it's time to go out on their own. What do
Sure.
some of those conversations look like? And you touched on a lot of it of, hey, this is not easy, right? So
Yep.
but what's some of the first things that you do when you talk to somebody who has a great idea and they're thinking about going out on their own and doing something that they are so passionate about?
Yeah, I think what happens is that, I do speak with so many women. I mean, at least once or twice a week,
Hmm.
I'm having a conversation. If I'm not actually in a coaching situation, but having a conversation with, with others who are either, they're already in it, so they're either trying to decide what's the next level for them, for their business, if they want to stay in the business,
Hmm.
all of those things, having those kinds of conversations. And also, I think what kind of this a common thread is that again, it is hard. And so, making the right decisions, using wisdom and, kind of the lessons perhaps that you've already learned,
Hmm.
and saying, okay, you know what, I can move forward because of, and or that my faith is going to allow me to extend myself further in,
Hmm.
in whatever you're doing. And so I mean, I have those kinds of conversations. I have conversations about, just, keeping it real. um I'm afraid. I have fear of, and a lot of times I think when it comes, after we kind of talk through and sort of sift through some of the things that are discussed, is that yes, it may be fear, but then it's more about fear of success, really,
Hmm.
not so much of failure. Because it's like, when you have, you know you've fallen and you pick yourself up, and you fall and you pick yourself up. So it's like, okay, so I keep going, moving forward. Um, but then it may be just this one thing that just, one circumstance that just impacts everything that you're doing in that moment. And it just feels like, you know what, it's just too daunting. I can't handle it. It's just too much. But at the end of the day, but then when you talk about it, it's like you get the joy back.
Yeah.
Sometimes a lot of times it's just having a sounding board and not necessarily looking for coaching or consult or anything like that, but just having someone to listen and to, sort of not necessarily even comment, just allowing the person to have it's a one-on-one conversation, but it's a really one-on-one with yourself, and allowing yourself to
Right.
actually, to speak your truth and speak
Yeah.
full, those things that are just really on your heart. And like, you know what, this thing is just is more than a notion. But after we talk it through, the smiles come back, the joy comes back, and then
Hmm.
it's like, okay, next, I can do this."
I like that. You also do a lot of work in the branding area too,
Yes.
and I
Mhm.
think some people get caught up and think that a brand is just the logo, but that's not true either. And I think this all ties together into what you're talking about is, your brand is you. It's what you're
Yes.
building. It's the strategic plan that you have in
Yes.
place. What Walk me through some of those conversations of how do you start to dig down and okay, we've gotten over the, yep, I'm not afraid, I'm going to go at it. But
Yeah.
how do you walk them through what your brand is and how do they start to really zone in on what they're going to be, what they're going to represent, and what they're going to
Mhm.
carry out, and whom they're going to serve?
Right, right, right. So yeah, those are actually, I mean, that's the core of my, of my professional life, has been working in marketing, communications, and brand development. And so, so for me, when I first started in those, that was my corporate life. That's what I started was doing
Mhm.
was assisting companies, and then ultimately individuals in terms of building their brands. And so, that you have to look at yourself because you can, okay, say it's, you have a business name, you may have all of those things, but so at the core though, it is all about you, as you mentioned. So it is all, you are your brand,
Mhm.
and, there's some great examples of that in terms of, in the celebrity world, in the news world. There are, some great celebrities out there that have actually walked this out right in front of us. And so when you want to have some good examples, not to say that they're perfect, but there are some, where, yes, you have a business, I usually use, Oprah as an example
Mm.
because, okay, so yes, she started her career in news and journalism, and then next thing you know, she was, had her own show and all, so all of that. But then at the core of that, yeah, she has, Harpo Productions. She has she has her magazine, but they're all about her. At the end, when you just, break it all down,
Yeah.
brass tacks, she is her brand. And so she's the one who has walked this out in front of us. And then, you have the larger brands, so it's all about what you promise.
Mm.
When you think about, like, even with a car, when you think about General Motors and then the different brands that fall under General Motors, you have Cadillac, you have Buick. So what do they promise you? And sure, no, we're not talking about perfection here. We're talking about longevity, legacy, 100 years when you start talking about some of these auto manufacturers, that they have withstood time, and that's what a good brand does. And so you start where you start and build upon that, keeping, what's true to you and what obviously there'll be an evolution of that,
Mhm.
but that at the very, heart, very core is whatever that brand mark or that brand intention that you have for you,
Mhm.
let alone for your business.
I like
Yeah,
that. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
LaTanya, this has been awesome. Let me ask
yeah.
one more question. If you look
Sure.
back, you've had an amazing career. If you look back and you think about 21-year-old LaTanya,
No.
yeah, exactly. What
She
is
is.
one what's one thing you wish 21-year-old LaTanya knew then that you've learned over
Mhm.
the years?
Oh, Mark, I actually just had this conversation, really.
Oh, I can't wait.
So the conversations actually was around money.
Mm.
And if I knew then what I know now, oh my goodness, I'd be so much further ahead in terms of just the financial stability,
Mm.
and having had, if I had really sought, sort of being financially sound in it at 21.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, at almost 60, yes, I'd probably be on someone's island somewhere. Because of, just, the amount of money that has gone through my hands, and I think that's for all of us to a certain extent, just not having, sort of that financial literacy that, is so to at least be a foundation for you so that, okay, sure, you go ahead and you work corporately however many years. Not a
Mhm.
lot of people not staying in jobs, back in the day, people stayed in jobs 30, 40 years. These young people now are not doing that. So, but they need to know that while wherever they are, that they need to be uh, seeding their retirements.
Mhm.
And so if I knew at 21 what I know now, I just think that there would have been a lot more opportunity. There would have been, sort of, again, it's hard, but I think when you start talking about your future, just having that foundation, I know that it would just have been, or I say I would be walking in it, more so now than if I had just sort of put some things in place back then.
I like it. I like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
great advice. Yeah, we'll have to
Yeah.
figure out where that island is so we can get to it.
Yeah.
Hey, would you
Robert Richard Branson is not the only one that can own a
That's exactly
lineup.
right. That's exactly right. Hey, would you
Right.
do me a favor? Would you tell
Sure.
us a little bit about what it looks like to work in the FoundHERS Suite,
Sure.
and then how can people get a hold of you and learn more?
Yes, so the Founder Suite is a women's co-working shared office space in Chicago. We are actually undergoing some growing pains right now, but it's all good. We're looking at doing some expansion. We had an incident that happened the first of the year. So, but in terms of the actual, our workplace, work environment is that we have these shared private offices,
Yeah.
where, yes, everybody's got their own business and doing their own thing, but then that we come together collectively and collaboratively to partner on different projects or just to be able to have that sounding board among other entrepreneurs trying to do what they're trying to do. So it's a safe space for that. Again, collaboration, partnership, looking at what else is going on, in our community, in our neighborhoods, and how we might work together on those kinds of things. It doesn't have to necessarily be about business, but it could be
Hmm.
about what's going on with families, again, going looking in our neighborhoods and saying, okay, you know what, let's get behind this, this initiative, let's get behind this fundraising opportunity and those kinds of things. So that's sort of the day in a life, I guess, if
Yep.
in the suite is that we have, so yeah, we have a quiet space. Today might be quiet, tomorrow might be busy.
Yeah.
We do have, small, intimate, gatherings, business meetings and that sort of thing in the space. We have, extended in terms of actual private rental, for, again, small events and conferences. So, yeah,
Love it.
that's sort of what we have. We're, cultivating sort of an ecosystem of, women entrepreneurs, but we're not just exclusively women. Matter of fact, my first two members, were men.
Oh, cool.
How about that?
That's awesome. That's awesome. How can people learn more?
So people can learn more by going to our website. It is www.found, FOUND, hers, HERS, suite.com. So it's two S's there together. So foundhersuite.com. Yes, I would love you know, for you all to engage, subscribe if you're in the Chicagoland area. Love to have you come visit and learn more about what's going on in the suite.
I love it. Well,
Yeah,
Tanya, thanks so much for hanging out with
yeah.
me. I love it.
Thank you. Appreciate it so much, Mark.
All right, y'all, we've done it again. We found another amazing leader to share her insights and wisdom with us. So proud to get to hang out with LaTanya today. As we wrap up, I want to remind you that Igniting the CEO Within is sponsored by Quaid, a nationwide community of CEOs and entrepreneurs. Quaid has created Launchpad, which provides an opportunity for experienced executive coaches to become licensed circle directors and significantly impact the lives of CEOs and entrepreneurs. To find out more, visit quaidcircle.com. Until next time, keep igniting that CEO within you. I'm Mark McFatridge. Thanks for listening.